my name's Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Temon full set. Now I'm assuming it's pronounced Temon, it's spelled T-E-M-O-N, but it is from a Greek website, so it could be Temon, Temon, I'm not too sure. But anyway, the Temon full set, which I received from www.mmvapors.com. Before I start, I must point out I did receive it free of charge for purpose of conducting a review, but my opinion of the products remain true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, let's go straight ahead and show you in a bit more detail. Okay, so here we have what is called the Temon or Temon full set, and that consists of 2 atomizer end caps, 2 bodies and 2 lockable bottom button switches, plus a 16mm version of the DID Genesis atomizer. So technically you're getting 2 full devices plus the Genesis atomizer as well. And I think these are all available separately on the website, but if you buy them as a package, then it does seem to be a lot cheaper. On the end you're going to find a 510 atomizer connection, so that means you can use the Temon with any atomizer or cartomizer that also has a 510 threading. I believe they send out a brass version and a stainless steel version of the end caps, and the same thing with the lockable bottom button switches as well. And you can sort of mix and match as both of these devices are compatible with each other. Now I think you can either choose to have a slotted finish or a flat finish, and they sent me out one of each. Now the idea of the slotted finish is so you can obviously use something like a Penelope or a spheroid, and you're still going to obviously get some airflow. If you're just going to be using it with the DID atomizer though, then you don't need to worry about having any slots, because obviously the Genesis style atomizers have their own sort of separate air hole to allow for airflow. And on the opposite end you're going to find these lockable bottom button switches, and once again they send out a brass version and a stainless steel version, so you can mix and match. You know, if you want to have a brass switch but a stainless steel end cap, then obviously you can do that. With regards to the stainless steel bodies, one of them will take a 14500 battery, and I've been using these AW14500s and they fit in there very nicely. And the other one, the longer version, is going to take a 14650. Now I've never even heard of a 14650 battery, and I don't recall ever actually seen one either available on the internet, so I've only been using it with the shorter tube out of the two. Going around the base of both tubes you're going to find some nice engraving. You're going to start off then with the MM Vapors company logo, then you're going to find your serial number, and then finally the word Temon sort of laser engraved on the side there. Also going around the base you're going to find 3 quite large air vents, so if you was very unfortunate and just happened to get a battery that was venting some dodgy gases, then those gases got some place to escape from. With regards to the bottom button switch, it is quite a nice switch to use. However, I do find that the spring inside here is way too strong for my liking personally. Now, if you're going to be using it for prolonged periods of time, especially if you're activating it with your little finger, it does start to get quite cumbersome after a while. Around the edge here, you have your locking ring. So at the moment, I can fire it up and have a vape. But if I want to obviously carry it around in my pocket, don't want it to accidentally activate, I can just spin the ring, and that's it, it will no longer fire up. Now with regards to the atomizer that comes with the kit, like I said, it's a 16mm diameter version of the DID atomizer. Now I've already reviewed and showed you how to set up the DID atomizer, and I've already reviewed and showed you how to set up the mini DID atomizer, so there doesn't seem to be a great deal of point of me sort of spending more time showing you how to get this one set up when I've already covered it twice already. For those who aren't aware though, the DID atomizer is a Genesis style atomizer. And that means you have a tank here, and this particular one holds 3 millilitres of e-liquid. And from that tank you have a stainless steel mesh wick, and you then wrap your coils around the stainless steel mesh wick, and that should hopefully fire up. But I think my battery's a little bit dead. It's coming back to life now. And then obviously once that's all firing up, that's going to produce all your lovely vapour. As you can see, like, you know, it's the usual sort of DID quality. All the threads are very nice. Everything goes together very nice and smoothly. Okay, so that is the Temon, or is it the Temon? Let's go ahead and see what it vapes like. Okay, so that was the Temon, or possibly pronounced Temon or Temon. And what I'll do now is go ahead and show you in action. So I'm going to be using it with the DID atomizer that comes with the kit. The resistance of the coil was reading around 1.5 ohms, and the tank has been filled up with some 18 milligram strength tobacco flavoured e-liquid, and it's just a PG e-liquid. As you can see, like vapour wise, you're getting plenty of vapour, but you have to bear in mind the amount of vapour production you're going to get will be quite dependent on what you're going to put on the end of the Temon, what sort of resistance you've got the coil at, what sort of resistance your atomizer or cartomizer, if you're just using like regular atomizers or cartomizers, type of e-liquid you're using, etc, etc. But with the setup we've got here, getting plenty of vapour. I'm not going to talk too much about the atomizer and the drawer and that sort of stuff, because I've already reviewed the DID atomizer, I've already reviewed the mini DID atomizer, and that is pretty much what this is. And I'm finding that a lot of the performance is pretty much bang on par with the the mini DID atomizer that I reviewed not so long ago. So I'm going to sort of skip past that bit, but it is a nice vape though, and the mini DID, or the DID atomizers in general, are very nice Genesis style atomizers to use. Talk more then about the actual Temon or Temon, and overall it's been a really nice vape. But the only sort of real main gripe with it has been to do with like the switch. I find the spring to be very, very stiff indeed, and I've actually taken this apart now, the switch, and cut away half of the spring to make it hopefully a little bit sort of less tough. And I'm still finding it you have to put quite a bit of pressure on that to actually still get it to go all the way in and fire. Whereas beforehand, before I sort of cut away half that spring, I was finding it, like that, and I've got big old, quite strong hands, and but it was, for me anyway, just sort of way too strong. Now, when I did mention this to MM Vapors, they said, oh, they had done it specifically that sort of strength of spring because it was going to be used with a Genesis style atomizer, but I can't honestly see what difference that makes. But I'm sure there is some sort of logical reason. But I couldn't quite figure out why they said, "Oh yeah, we've done that specifically, made it that strength because you're going to be using it with a Genesis style atomizer." I'm sure somebody will point me to a very logical reason for that, but I couldn't really think of one, to be quite honest. And the other sort of slight negative I had was to do with the actual locking ring on both of the bottom button sections that I received. It was very gritty to start off with, and I did have to sort of spend sort of 10-15 minutes just sort of screwing it up and screwing it down just to sort of free it up a bit. Now it's it's lovely, it's as smooth as butter. But other than the actual sort of strength of the spring and the slight grittiness when I first got the Temon, I've had it for about 6 weeks now, something like that. So it has had plenty of use. And but like, other than those two little things, the rest of it, it's just a very nice vape. I'm not overly keen on 14500 batteries. Now, I might be a little bit sort of prejudiced at the moment because the only 14500 batteries I had, I bought them probably around maybe 3.5, 4 years ago, something like that. And they've just been sort of sitting in the cupboard for the last sort of couple of years. I can't remember actually using them, so the chances are, they're probably not working to their full potential anyway. So I'm finding battery life wise, I'm only really sort of getting about sort of 2 hours out of them, of sort of pretty sort of moderate to slightly heavyish use. Whereas normally I would expect something around sort of 600 milliamp hours to sort of last me. I'll probably go through 2 batteries a day, whereas this, at the moment, I'm going through quite a few. So I'm not going to be sort of too hard on it with regards to battery life, because like I said, my batteries are very old batteries and they had a lot of use prior to sort of sitting in the cupboard for the last sort of couple of years. So I'm sure if you did get one, get yourself a brand new 14500 battery and you should get sort of fairly good battery life out of it. Overall though, you know, it's a nice little device. If you want something sort of nice and discreet to sort of you know, keep in your pocket, then it is a, you know, a really nice one to go for. And one other thing about these mini did atomizers, or this particular did atomizer, is I find that you can still leave the filling screw in the hole, and even though you have got quite a thick wick in there, which has got quite a big hole in the centre of it, the way that I make them anyway, I'm finding that it's quite good for not leaking if it accidentally gets sort of knocked down onto the side and that. So, you know, if you are after a Genesis style atomizer, you can just sort of put it in your pocket. And I'd still be mindful about trying to keep it upright, but you know, there's less chance of it leaking compared to some other ones if it did happen to sort of fall over, let's put it that way. No, build quality wise, it's a very nice looking device. The threads, other than the locking thread when I first, or the locking ring when I first got it, you know, overall build quality, you know, very nice indeed. I think I've covered just about everything I can sort of really think of to cover. I'll get onto the scores. Shall I probably score? Yeah, I'll get on the scores for the looks. You know, it is actually a really nice little device. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It is a nice looking device. I don't even know what I was thinking about then. Vapor production throw here, not going to bother with that because it will be quite dependent on your own sort of personal setup. So like battery life, I'm not going to score it in battery life either because I've only got really old crappy batteries. The switch, if I was going to base it without me sort of cutting the actual strength of the spring in half, then like I'd probably have to give it a 5. You know, it would be a great switch if it had a softer spring in there, but for me, the actual strength of the spring sort of makes it a little bit sort of clunky feeling as well. So me personally, I think all it needs is a different spring, and that's it. It'd be a really nice switch to use. So I'll base it on my usage experience with the switch, and before having to sort of cut it in half, and I can only really give the switch about a 6 or 7. It's not been the nicest switch to use, simply because of the overall strength of the spring. Put a new spring in there, could have quite easily been a 9 or a 10. Okay guys, well, you know, if you fancy trying one of these out for yourself, go along to www.mmvapors.com. Thank you very much for watching. Also come along and visit my website at www.e-cig-reviews.com. It's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping. See you later.